Have you ever wondered why some people radiate youthfulness at 70, while others seem old at 30? What if everything you believed about aging was merely an illusion, a story your mind has been programmed to accept? But before we begin, please hit the like button and let me know where in the world you're watching from today. It's always fascinating seeing who's joining us from around the world. The truth is both simpler and more profound than most realize. Has this ever happened to you? You look in the mirror and barely recognize the person staring back, wondering when those lines appeared or when that vibrant spark began to fade. You're not alone, and what's remarkable is that this experience isn't inevitable. It's optional. Deep within you lies a dormant force of extraordinary power, your subconscious mind. This hidden reservoir doesn't recognize birthdays or count candles on cakes. It only responds to the messages you feed it day after day, year after year. When you say, "I'm getting old, my body can't do that anymore," or "that's just what happens with age," you're programming your internal biology to manifest exactly these limitations. Stay with me until the end, because the journey we're about to embark on challenges everything modern society has taught you about the aging process. Your body isn't a machine wearing down with time. It's a perfect reflection of your dominant thoughts and beliefs. Every cell, tissue, and organ responds with remarkable precision to the inner conversations you're having, often without realizing their impact. Consider this. Your skin cells regenerate approximately every 27 days. Your liver rebuilds itself every 150 days. Your skeleton completely renews itself every 7 years. If your body is in a constant state of renewal, why should deterioration be inevitable? The answer lies not in your chromosomes, but in your consciousness. What you're about to discover might surprise you. Throughout history, visionaries and healers have understood that youth is not chronological, but vibrational, a state of mind that translates directly into cellular activity. When your thoughts vibrate with energy, enthusiasm, and possibility, your body responds by activating regenerative processes that science is only beginning to comprehend. Imagine for a moment what might happen if you could speak directly to every cell in your body, commanding it to remember its original blueprint of perfection. What if you could access the divine pattern that exists beyond time, the eternal template of who you truly are? This isn't mere fantasy or wishful thinking. It's applied spiritual science with demonstrable results. The remarkable transformations I've witnessed in people who embrace these principles defy conventional explanation. A woman told by doctors she would never walk again, now hiking mountains. A man whose skin seemed permanently damaged by decades of hardship, now radiating a youthful glow. These aren't miracles or exceptions. They're examples of universal law in action. Your subconscious mind is the gateway to this transformation. It's the fertile soil where every thought you plant grows into physical experience. When you declare with emotional conviction that youth flows through you like an eternal river, your subconscious accepts this as command and begins to orchestrate biological processes aligned with this new directive. But how exactly does this inner communication work? What specific language does your subconscious respond to most powerfully? And what practical steps can you take to begin this journey of renewal starting today? The answers might challenge everything you thought you knew about the aging process. If these insights into the secret of inner youth have sparked something within you, don't let this be our final conversation. Subscribe to this channel and join thousands of others who are reclaiming their birthright of ageless living and vibrant health. Every week I share powerful techniques, transformative meditations, and profound wisdom that you won't find in conventional health approaches. This isn't just information. It's a pathway to awakening the regenerative intelligence that already exists within you. By subscribing, you'll receive practical visualization exercises that activate cellular renewal, ancient wisdom translated into modern, applicable techniques, scientific discoveries that validate these spiritual principles, a supportive community of fellow travelers on this journey. The decision to subscribe is more than a button click. It's a declaration to yourself that you're ready to transcend the scene, limitations you've been taught about aging, and embrace the boundless vitality that is your natural state. Click subscribe now, and let's continue this sacred journey together. Your eternal self is waiting. The most profound revelation on this journey of transformation is that we've been collectively hypnotized into accepting a false narrative. For centuries, humanity has internalized limiting beliefs about aging. I'm too old for that. It's just what happens when you get older. You can't teach an old dog new tricks. These aren't innocent observations. They're powerful commands that become inscribed in your cellular memory, creating a self-fulfilling prophecy of decline. But here's the hidden truth that changes everything. Aging, as we typically understand it, is an illusion, a mental construct that your body faithfully executes. Every cell in your organism is designed for perpetual renewal. Your skin doesn't inherently know how to sag. Your joints don't automatically know how to stiffen. They're simply responding to the mindset you've unconsciously adopted. Think about what happens in nature. The mighty oak doesn't complain that it's too old to produce another season of leaves. The river doesn't decide it's worn out from flowing. Everything in the natural world follows an eternal pattern of renewal, constant rebirth, regeneration, and reinvention. This isn't poetic metaphor. It's biological reality. Within you lies an inexhaustible wellspring of vitality, your subconscious mind. This invisible force never tires, never ages, and never stops producing the energy needed for complete rejuvenation. The only barrier to accessing this fountain of youth is the mental programming that blocks its flow. When you understand this fundamental principle, a profound shift occurs. Your journey toward youthfulness isn't about fighting against time. It's about aligning with your original blueprint, the divine pattern that exists beyond the illusion of chronological aging. Every breath you take can become an opportunity to reconnect with this eternal design. The revelations I'm sharing aren't based on wishful thinking, but on the science of consciousness and its impact on biological processes. Your cells are literally listening to your thoughts, responding to your expectations, and reflecting your deepest beliefs about what's possible for your body. Now, I want to go even deeper into how this works at the cellular level, revealing exactly how your thoughts translate into biological commands that either accelerate aging or activate regeneration. If what I'm sharing resonates with your intuition about the true nature of aging, write "renewal is my natural state" in the comments below. Let's explore what happens at the microscopic level when you shift your consciousness. Your cells are not passive chunks of matter. They're intelligent receivers, perfectly tuned to the frequency of your thoughts. Every word you speak, every image you hold, every emotion you feel becomes a biochemical instruction transmitted through your nervous system directly to the nucleus of each cell. When you declare with conviction, "My body renews itself with divine energy," this isn't merely positive thinking. It's a vibrational command that initiates a cascade of healing processes. Leading-edge researchers are now documenting what spiritual traditions have known for millennia. Consciousness directly influences cellular behavior, activating regenerative genes that conventional medicine once believed were permanently dormant. Consider the revelation found in nature's wisdom. The evergreen tree stands as a perfect metaphor for your innate capacity for continuous renewal. While its bark may wither and its branches may bend under winter's weight, as long as the vital sap flows within, the tree remains verdant, productive, and alive. I remember working with Elaine, a 59-year-old woman who had been told her bone density was irreversibly declining. She began a daily practice of affirming, "I am like a tree planted by streams of water. My roots go deep, my tissues strengthen, my body blossoms." Within 6 months, her follow-up scans showed measurable improvement that left her doctors searching for explanations. The true catalyst for such transformations lies in what I call the subconscious reservoir, dimension of mind far deeper than rational thought or fleeting emotion. This sanctuary holds the original blueprint of your being, uncorrupted by cultural programming about aging. When you learn to access this reservoir, you tap into an immeasurable potential that governs your physical destiny. This journey into the subconscious isn't mystical fantasy, but a practical pathway to reclaiming your body's natural state of vitality. The insight that changes everything is recognizing that your physical, Experience isn't happening to you. It's happening through you, directed by the hidden powers of your deeper mind. Let's examine how this subconscious reservoir operates and why. Most people never learn to harness its extraordinary potential for physical regeneration. If you've experienced moments when you felt ageless, where time seemed to disappear, and your body felt light and energetic type, I remember that feeling in the comments. The revelation that transforms your entire understanding of aging is this. Youth isn't a fleeting stage of life that passes with time. It's a vibrational code embedded in your DNA, waiting to be activated. Think of it as a dormant seed at the core of your being, the original, pristine image of yourself, untouched by wear or decay. This eternal seed doesn't die with passing years. It simply awaits the right conditions to germinate and express its inherent vitality. What creates these favorable conditions? Your consistent thoughts and emotions. This is where the breakthrough insight becomes practical. Every single thought you entertain isn't just an abstract concept. It's a precise electrical impulse, traveling through your nervous system, affecting your cellular behavior at the most fundamental level. When you wake up and think, "I'm exhausted. My body feels heavy today," that thought signal reaches your hypothalamus, triggering a cascade of stress hormones like cortisol that literally instruct your cells to slow down, conserve energy, and restrict function. The result? You physically experience what you mentally declared. But imagine the profound shift when you replace that thought with "divine energy flows through every cell of my being," awakening vitality and strength. This alternative declaration triggers an entirely different biochemical response, releasing rejuvenating hormones, increasing circulation, and activating genes associated with cellular repair and renewal. Your body operates as a sophisticated printing terminal, faithfully reproducing whatever commands your subconscious mind sends its way. There's no negotiation, no filtering. Whatever you decree with emotional conviction becomes your physical reality. The word you speak to yourself is absolute law for your flesh and blood. This revelation about your body's receptivity to thought explains why some people experience accelerated aging while others maintain remarkable vitality well into their later years. The difference isn't genetic fortune, but mental, programming the quality of signals continuously transmitted to trillions of obedient cells. The journey to reclaiming your innate youthfulness begins with consciousness of this hidden mechanism. Once you understand the direct pathway between thought and biology, you gain access to the master control panel of your physical experience. If you've noticed how quickly your body responds to your thoughts, whether positively or negatively, write, "My cells are listening" in the comments. Now let's explore one of the most powerful techniques for activating this cellular regeneration, what I call the nightly regeneration formula. This practice harnesses the unique receptivity of your subconscious mind during the transition to sleep, when the conscious mind's resistance naturally relaxes. Begin by lying comfortably with your spine straight, breathing deeply until your body surrenders to complete relaxation. Then visualize your entire being wrapped in a luminous golden light that slowly descends from the crown of your head to the soles of your feet. As this light envelops each part of you, affirm with gentle conviction, each cell is illuminated with the energy of divine youth. Feel this truth resonating in every tissue. Finally, repeat with serene confidence. During this night, my subconscious renews every organ, every tissue, every cell. I awaken restored, vibrant, and full of life. The key to transformation lies not in the words themselves, but in the surrender that follows falling asleep with absolute certainty that something profound has been set in motion. This revelation brings us to a profound awakening. We've been living under what I call the invisible dictatorship of the calendar. We've been trained to count years as if each number were a sentence, treating birthdays as milestones of inevitable decline. Yet this belief system is merely mental superstition, a collective hypnosis with no basis in spiritual reality. The liberating truth? Your subconscious mind has no calendar. It doesn't know if you're 30, 50, or 90. It only responds to mental images and deep convictions. This insight opens the door to understanding the three distinct ages you simultaneously possess. First is your chronological age, the number on your birth certificate, useful for legal matters, but irrelevant to your inner evolution. Second is your biological age, the actual condition of your organs and systems, which can be changed through habits and thoughts. But most crucial is your psychic age, the age you believe yourself to be at the deepest level. This psychic age is what truly governs your physical experience. I've known 35-year-olds who feel ancient, their bodies reflecting that belief in every sluggish movement and dull gaze. And I've worked with 75-year-olds who radiate such youthful vitality that strangers are shocked to learn their chronological age. The difference isn't genetics or luck, it's the inner conviction about who they truly are. ... You've noticed how some people seem to defy aging while others age prematurely, right? Age is a mindset. In the comments. What truly revolutionizes our understanding of human potential are the documented cases of biological restoration that conventional medicine struggles to explain. Behind the scenes of these transformations lies a simple but profound truth. The aging sequence can be interrupted at any point when consciousness shifts. Consider Carolyn, who at 56 experienced the resumption of menstruation after 20 years of menopause through a daily practice of affirming, "My body aligns with the perfect pattern of nature." Medical professionals were baffled, unable to explain this reversal of what they considered an irreversible biological transition. Or take Michael's journey, diagnosed at 29 with a degenerative condition that specialists predicted would confine him to a wheelchair by 35. Rather than accepting this verdict, he began visualizing his nerves as luminous channels and his spine as a pillar of divine energy. Today, at 42, he not only walks freely, but competes in marathons and operates a wellness center, helping others reclaim their vitality. These revelations point to a revolutionary insight. Everything you've believed about your body can be rewritten. The blueprint you hold in your subconscious mind trumps genetic inheritance, family history, and even medical prognosis. Your body isn't a fixed machine programmed to deteriorate, but a moldable energy field, constantly responding to the signals you transmit through your thoughts, emotions, and beliefs. This understanding illuminates the true nature of the aging pattern. It isn't physical at all, but a mental algorithm installed since childhood. From our earliest years, we absorb messages like, "You're getting too old for that," or "at your age." This is normal. These ideas become subconscious programs that faithfully produce hormonal changes, tissue weakening, and organ deterioration with mathematical precision. The liberation comes with recognizing that what was installed mentally can be uninstalled mentally. Every time you catch yourself saying, "I'm too old for this," pause and replace it with, "The divine life within me knows no age." When fatigue creeps in, declare instead, "Every cell in my body now receives the command of vitality." You're not fighting the old pattern, but overriding it with a higher truth that your cells eagerly await. If you've noticed yourself using phrases that reinforce aging and would like to transform them, type, "I'm changing my inner dialogue" in the comments. The science behind this mind-body connection reveals an extraordinary reality. Your cells aren't just passive blobs of matter, but sophisticated communication centers equipped with receptors for hormones and neurochemical signals. The revolutionary insight is that these signals originate directly from your thoughts. Your brain is essentially a pharmaceutical laboratory, manufacturing different chemicals based on your mental state. When fear dominates your consciousness, your brain produces adrenaline and cortisol, triggering inflammation and accelerating aging processes. When love permeates your awareness, oxytocin floods your system, promoting healing and cellular harmony. And when you consistently hold thoughts of youthfulness and vitality, your body releases growth factors that literally rejuvenate tissue at the molecular level. This biochemical revelation helps explain the extraordinary testimonies of full longevity throughout history, individuals who maintained clarity, strength, and vibrance well beyond 100 years. Their secret wasn't found in exotic supplements or medical breakthroughs, but in the architecture of their consciousness. I think of Sophia, a remarkable woman who at 93 ran an orphanage in South America, cooking, teaching, and dancing with the children daily. When asked about her extraordinary vitality, she simply replied, "I've never thought about how old I am, only about how much love I can give today." Her focus wasn't on time, but on purpose. Not on limitation, but on contribution. These discoveries reveal a profound truth: your body speaks a spiritual language all its own. It's constantly communicating with you through sensations, symptoms, and states. Every organ has a voice. Every tissue tells a story. Every condition reveals something happening in your consciousness. There are no random accidents in your biology, only revelations about your inner world. Your body is quite literally the three-dimensional projection of your mental landscape, materializing your thoughts, emotions, and beliefs into physical form. When you begin to understand this language, everything changes. That chronic shoulder tension isn't just mechanical strain. It might be revealing emotional burdens you're carrying. The recurring digestive issue isn't merely about food. It could be showing your difficulty digesting certain life experiences. Your body isn't punishing you. It's teaching you through the only language it knows. If you've noticed your body trying to communicate with you through symptoms or sensations that seem connected to your emotional state, share "My body speaks to me" in the comments. When we decode this bodily language, a fascinating revelation emerges. Each organ in your body speaks its own symbolic truth. Your stomach, for instance, isn't just a digestive organ. It reflects your ability to process and assimilate life experiences. Chronic digestive issues often signal difficulty stomaching certain situations or digesting challenging emotions. Your lungs represent your openness to life, how freely you're allowing yourself to receive and give. Respiratory conditions frequently appear when someone feels constricted, unable to fully embrace life's rhythm or express their authentic voice. Your skin, as the boundary between your inner and outer worlds, communicates profound messages about identity and protection. Conditions like eczema, psoriasis, or unexpected breakouts may reveal conflicts about vulnerability, self-image, or a desire to shield yourself from perceived threats. And your joints, those magnificent connectors enabling movement and flexibility, often speak about your mental and emotional adaptability. Stiffness in the knees might reflect resistance to change. Shoulder tension could signify burdens you're carrying. This transformation in understanding illness completely reframes your relationship with physical discomfort. Illness isn't a punishment or random misfortune. It's a metaphorical communication from your deeper self. The soul naturally speaks in symbols, and your body faithfully translates these symbols into physical experience. The profound insight that changes everything. If you ignore the message, the symptom persists or intensifies. When you listen and respond, the symptom often fades. This doesn't mean abandoning conventional medicine. Quite the opposite. Use medical support wisely, while simultaneously seeking the awareness the condition is inviting. For without this consciousness shift, even if one symptom resolves through treatment, the unacknowledged message will simply find another avenue of expression. Your body is essentially a living sacred text waiting to be interpreted with the same reverence one might bring to Scripture. When symptoms appear, the invitation isn't to silence them with medication alone, but to listen deeply and ask, what mental pattern lies behind this manifestation? What belief am I holding that's creating this experience? The revelation you seek rarely arrives through intellectual analysis, but emerges in the stillness of receptive awareness. And like any dedicated teacher, your body will continue presenting the lesson until the student truly understands. If you've experienced healing that seemed connected to a shift in your mental or emotional state, share "Awareness Heals" in the comments. This profound revelation transforms our entire concept of youth. It isn't a chronological phase that inevitably passes, but a vibrational state of consciousness available at any age. True youth has little to do with the absence of wrinkles and everything to do with the absence of mental rigidity. When your consciousness vibrates with joy, enthusiasm, curiosity, and openness, your physical form has no choice but to reflect this inner music with corresponding agility, freshness, and strength. The decision to remain eternally young begins with a fundamental shift, moving from the limiting belief, "I was once young," to the liberating truth, "I am youth itself." This awakening connects you to what can only be described as divine energy, that inexhaustible current of life that flows through you whenever you love without condition, appreciate beauty without judgment, or breathe deeply with complete trust in the present moment. This energy isn't abstract or metaphorical, but a tangible experience, a subtle yet unmistakable current that seems to rise from your feet to the crown of your head, bringing with it a profound peace that needs no reason and a spontaneous joy that requires no external object. When you allow this energy to settle within you, regeneration follows naturally. Your pulse normalizes without effort. Digestion improves without intervention. Your skin regains its natural glow, not from products, but from presence. The revelation that changes everything is understanding that you don't need to achieve youth. You need only to allow what already exists within you to express itself by removing the mental barriers you've unconsciously constructed. The deeper wisdom in this journey of transformation reveals that the soul is the true rudder, while the body is simply the vessel that follows its direction. When your soul moves with clear purpose, authentic joy, and meaningful direction, your body naturally adapts to support that inner mandate. I witnessed this principle in action with Elizabeth, who had undergone 3 back surgeries and was told she would never walk normally again. When she discovered her grandchild needed her help with an important creative project, something profound shifted within her. As she connected with this soul-level purpose, her physical limitations began to dissolve. The revolutionary insight? Your body isn't your enemy, but your most faithful instrument, responding precisely to the tone set by your soul. If you've ever witnessed someone experience physical transformation after finding new purpose or meaning in their life, share Purpose Heals the Body in the comments. This journey reveals one of the most profound secrets of ageless living. Eternity isn't some distant concept waiting for you after death. It's a vibrational reality you can access in this very moment whenever you align with what I call the rhythm of being. When you meditate in deep silence, contemplate beauty without analysis, or love without expectation, you're literally touching eternity. In those sacred moments, time dissolves and your body receives a direct transmission of regenerative energy from the source itself. This revelation explains why ancient wisdom keepers throughout history lived well beyond 100 years with extraordinary clarity and vigor. Their longevity wasn't the result of superior genetics or primitive diets, as modern researchers often suggest. Their secret was conscious attunement to the eternal dimension that exists beyond the illusion of linear time. They understood that when you mentally step outside time's constraints, your body begins to reflect that timeless quality. One of the most powerful practices for accessing this regenerative blueprint is establishing what I call creative dialogue with your organs. This isn't metaphorical, but a practical technique for cellular renewal. Begin by directing your awareness to a specific organ, your heart, liver, or any area needing attention. Address it as you would a beloved friend. Dear heart, I acknowledge your tireless service. I infuse you with divine intelligence and give you permission to renew yourself completely. Then remain in receptive silence, allowing impressions or sensations to arise. This communion creates a profound bridge between conscious intention and physical response. The hidden truth behind all physical manifestation is that everything, absolutely everything, exists first as an image before materializing in form. The universe itself began as a divine thought before becoming matter. Your body operates by the same principle, responding not to your calendar age or medical history, but to the internal blueprint your subconscious mind continuously updates and projects. This image isn't static, but dynamic, changing with every thought you entertain about yourself. The breakthrough insight that transforms your entire experience is this: more than your diet, exercise regimen, or genetic inheritance, your self-image determines your health, energy, and longevity. When you change this inner template, Your biology has no choice but to follow. If you've ever noticed how differently you feel physically when you change how you see yourself, share "I am what I imagine" in the comments. This revelation transforms our understanding of imagination itself. Far from being childish fantasy, imagination is the most powerful creative function of your mind, the divine faculty through which invisible potential becomes visible reality. When you imagine with faith, emotional conviction, and persistence, you're not merely daydreaming, you're literally planting biological commands in your subconscious that produce measurable physiological changes. Modern medicine has begun documenting what spiritual traditions have taught. For millennia, guided visualization creates tangible biological responses. There are cases where tumors have shrunk, chronic pain has vanished, and seemingly permanent injuries have healed after patients visualized healing as an accomplished reality. I worked with a man who imagined his lungs breathing freely after years of severe asthma. Within weeks, his medication requirements diminished, and within months, his breathing capacity doubled. What conventional treatment couldn't accomplish, focused imagination achieved by accessing the body's innate intelligence. When you close your eyes and visualize your body restored to vibrant health, you're not engaging in wishful thinking, but performing what can only be described as spiritual surgery. Every image you hold with intensity becomes a precise directive to your subconscious mind, which acts like a silent surgeon reconstructing and regenerating at the cellular level. In this inner operating room, you need no scalpel or anesthesia, only the twin instruments of faith and precision. Faith to trust the process, and precision to see the desired outcome with crystal clarity. This understanding illuminates the countless documented cases of what medicine calls spontaneous remission or rejuvenation, people who experience radical improvement after years of decline, often to the astonishment of healthcare providers. When we look behind the curtain of these miraculous transformations, we consistently find one common denominator: a profound shift in self-image through vision, prayer, meaningful connection, or emotional breakthrough that reconfigures the body's operating blueprint. A woman in Toronto, paralyzed from the waist down after an accident, began seeing herself walking along the shoreline in her dreams. Upon waking, she felt tingling sensations where there had been no feeling. She nurtured these images daily, and 8 months later, with minimal conventional rehabilitation, she was walking independently. An artist in Vienna, devastated by failing vision and advancing age, began visualizing his eyes bathed in healing light each morning. If you've ever used visualization to influence your physical well-being, even in small ways, share "Imagination Heals" in the comments. The journey toward lasting regeneration brings us to a critical revelation, often overlooked in conventional approaches to health: mental purification. Just as your physical body requires the elimination of toxins to function optimally, your soul needs regular cleansing of accumulated mental and emotional residues. Within you, you carry not just memories, but residual energies, undigested emotions, hidden guilt, encapsulated resentments that, when left unprocessed, become embedded in your subconscious and begin to intoxicate your body at the cellular level. This mental purification isn't some abstract spiritual concept, but a biological necessity for anyone seeking to maintain youth and vitality. Often the true root of premature aging isn't external factors, but internal pollution, thoughts and emotions that have crystallized into physical manifestation. Illness frequently represents the soul's desperate attempt to evacuate a burden it can no longer carry. Learning to purify the mind is truly preventive medicine for eternal youth. The breakthrough insight that transforms this understanding comes from recognizing your mind as a sophisticated biochemical laboratory. Every thought you entertain generates an immediate hormonal discharge that affects your entire system. When you think with gratitude, love, or joy, your body releases endorphins, dopamine, and serotonin, natural compounds that promote cellular regeneration and immune function. But when you harbor hatred, envy, fear, or resentment, you secrete cortisol, adrenaline, and inflammatory cytokines that travel through your bloodstream, affecting your organs and blocking your body's natural regenerative capabilities. The most powerful cleansing agent available to you isn't found in any health food store, but within your own. Consciousness forgiveness. Not superficial forgiveness offered from the lips as a social courtesy, but vibrational forgiveness that truly releases others and yourself from the inner prison of judgment. This profound act of liberation produces measurable physiological effects, improving heart rate, harmonizing blood pressure, balancing digestion, and normalizing endocrine function. I've witnessed remarkable transformations in people after genuine forgiveness. A 50-year-old woman who carried hidden resentment toward her father suffered from chronic muscular contractions that no physical treatment could relieve. When she finally engaged in a sincere practice of forgiveness, her pain began to subside within weeks. If you've experienced physical relief after letting go of a long-held resentment or grudge, share "Forgiveness healed my body" in the comments. This journey of transformation leads us to another profound revelation. Just as your physical body requires oxygen to survive, your soul needs peace to regenerate. This isn't merely poetic language, but a biological reality with measurable effects. When genuine inner peace is established, your entire system enters what science now calls the parasympathetic mode, but what I recognize as the divine restoration state. In this sacred space, inflammation naturally decreases, hormonal systems rebalance, and regenerative genes activate without effort. The revolutionary insight that transforms your experience is understanding that peace isn't the absence of external chaos, but the presence of internal harmony. Without this foundation of inner stillness, no amount of supplements, treatments, or procedures can activate true rejuvenation. Peace becomes the fertile soil in which the seed of youth blossoms. When your consciousness is at war fighting the past, resenting others, or battling yourself, your body remains in constant stress. And under stress, cellular regeneration is impossible. This understanding leads naturally to one of the most powerful practices for eternal youth, what I call the mental bath of youth. Just as you cleanse your physical body daily, your consciousness requires regular purification. Find a quiet moment, close your eyes, and visualize yourself beneath a cascading waterfall of pure white light. As this luminous energy flows over and through you, affirm with quiet conviction, "I cleanse my mind of every thought of aging, limitation, and fear. I release all that no longer serves my highest expression." Stay with this visualization until you feel a genuine sense of lightness and clarity. This practice isn't merely symbolic, it creates tangible shifts in your neurochemistry, preparing your entire system to receive life with renewed enthusiasm. The decision to prioritize this inner cleansing represents a profound pivot point in your journey toward ageless living. Behind all these practices lies a revolutionary truth. On the plane of divine mind exists your original model, a perfect archetype of your body that reflects absolute intelligence, harmony, and beauty. This template wasn't created by your parents, your culture, or even your conscious intentions. It was inscribed in the very substance of your being at the moment of your spiritual conception. This divine blueprint has no age, no imperfections, and exists entirely outside the constraints of time. If you've ever experienced moments of perfect peace where your body seemed to heal or rejuvenate itself, share "Peace restores my body" in the comments. This profound journey leads us to the practical question: how do you access this divine blueprint that exists? On the higher plane, the pathway unfolds in 3 essential steps that transform possibility into living experience. First comes detachment from the withered image you've unconsciously accepted. You cannot activate your perfect pattern while remaining identified with a deteriorated version of yourself. When you look in the mirror and criticize what you see, you're reinforcing the very distortion you wish to change. True transformation begins with the revolutionary decision to say, "This is not my final form, I have another template." The second step involves conscious invocation of your archetype, closing your eyes and visualizing your body, not as society dictates it should be, but as seen through the eyes of divine intelligence. See yourself balanced, radiant, strong, and serene. Feel the texture of your skin, the flexibility of your joints, the clarity of your vision, the steadiness of your pulse. This isn't fantasy, but recognition of what already exists on the vibrational plane, waiting to be manifested through your conscious agreement. The final step requires emotional installation of this pattern holding. That image not with wishful thinking, but with absolute certainty, feeling the gratitude and joy of embodying your true design. This emotional signature acts as the bridge between invisible potential and visible manifestation. The body doesn't create images, it faithfully obeys them. What you hold in your mind with emotional conviction inevitably becomes substance. Revelation that can transform your entire experience in this moment is the recognition that physical deterioration is not some universal mandate. Inscribed in your DNA, it's merely a learned script, a collective hypnosis you've absorbed from a society that has forgotten its spiritual origins. Just as you learned this script, you can consciously unlearn it and write a new story for your body's expression. Like the eagle that soars to great heights to molt its feathers and renew its strength, you, too, can rise above cultural programming, statistical expectations, and even medical prognosis to claim youth as your spiritual birthright. This isn't denial or magical thinking, but alignment with the higher law that governs all life. If you've begun to recognize that you have more control over your body's aging process than you previously thought possible, share "I am the author of my body's story" in the comments. As we bring our conversation full circle, I hope you can feel the stirrings of possibility within you. This journey of inner renewal isn't some distant theory, but a living invitation to reclaim what has always been yours. The eternal youth encoded in your cells has never left you. It's simply been waiting for your consciousness to awaken to it. If something within you resonated with these truths, if you felt even a whisper of recognition as we explored these principles, I'd love for you to become part of this community of conscious creators who are rewriting the story of aging together. Subscribe to join us on this continuing exploration of your limitless potential. The insights we've shared today are just the beginning of what's possible when you align with your original blueprint. If these revelations spoke directly to your heart, if you sensed that this message arrived in your life at precisely the right moment, leave a comment saying, "I am eternally young," so I know we're connected on this journey. Your engagement with this content creates ripples of transformation far beyond what you might imagine. When you tap that like button, you're not just showing appreciation, you're helping others discover these same liberating truths about their own divine potential. I've created a special video that takes these principles even deeper, exploring the specific meditation techniques that activate cellular regeneration most powerfully. It's waiting for you right here. Click and join me there as we continue this sacred exploration of the eternal youth that lives within you.